Today we're going to look at X mana spells and then we're going to rank them on a tier list. Everyone on the 0 mana tier list video is like, what about Chalice of the Void and Hangerback Walker? Aren't they 0 mana spells? No, they're X mana spells. Let's go start off with Chalice of the Void, my favorite X mana spell. Because for XX, it enters the battlefield with X charge counters on it. You could choose 0. So you can just put it out there, 0, counter the Pact of Negations, counter the Summoner's Pact and Ornithopters and so on. Whenever a player casts a spell with the converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Chalice of the Void, counter that spell. Get him! Yeah, this card is lethal. This card is restricted in Vintage. You know why? Because it's an unfun card in that format. If you blew 100 grand to own Black Lotus, Mox Sapphire, Mox, can we name them all? Mox Sapphire, Mox Ruby, Mox Jet, Mox Emerald, Mox Pearl. I can do it. Can you name all, if you can name all 151 Pokemon, or all 450, you should be able to name all 5 Moxen. Alright, Chalice of the Void is above and beyond, actually, it's just an insane card. A lot of decks, there are prison decks built around just loading up on this damn card. We're putting in a super S tier. Very, very good card. Great utility. Still screws people over even to this day. That's right, Living End players and the Crashing Footfall players, they're cringing looking at this card. Alright, anything with an X in it. Xander's Pact. Is that an X spell? Oh, and also PM was like waiting for this topic for his entire life. Alright, Xander's Pact. If it has X in the casting cost, yes. If it doesn't, no. It does not! I'm not gonna read the rest of it. Alright, so what do we got here? Mind Grind. Next, we got Mind Grind. For a blue-black X, each opponent reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals X land cards, then puts all cards revealed this way into his or her graveyard. X can't be 0. I have no idea where this card would be used or useful in. Each opponent reveals reveals cards from the top of their library until he or she reveals X land cards. Why can't it be 0? You immediately do not reveal anything. Anyway, I have no. I'm gonna put this C with the potential of going D because I don't know how bad these cards can get. They could get super bad for all I know. Mind Twist. Let's look at Mind Twist. This card's banned, isn't it? It's banned in Legacy. Why? How pathetic it is. Black X. Target player discards X cards at random. Because the thing is, like, okay, it's like, what, Hymn to Turok for 3 mana? We have him. This is like Hymn to Turok at home. And of course, it scales as you get more lands in play. But at that point, your opponent's hand is empty. If you have 4 lands in play, I mean, this card's not going to do a whole lot. I don't want to say it's terrible, but I really also don't want to say it's good. I'm putting in the C tier. It's the most embarrassing card on the Legacy ban list, above and beyond. We got Flo Nino with the Super Chat. Walking Ballista. One of the all-stars of Magic the Gathering. Mostly because, you know, Walking Ballista wouldn't be much if it wasn't for its second ability. So it's an XX spell, enters the battlefield with X counters on it. Pay 4, put a +1/+1 counter on Walking Ballista. That's the important one. If it didn't have that ability... forget it. This thing would still see play. I'm wrong. If you have infinite mana, just sink this thing onto the battlefield. Anyway, okay, remove a counter from Walking Ballista. It deals 1 damage to any target. Where to put this? It's actually banned in Pioneer. Yeah, I guess we can make this S tier. I sort of want to put A tier because I don't know what to put in A tier, but this is a really, really powerful card. Sees a lot of play in any deck with infinite mana. It's like one of the classic ways to finish off your opponent. If you have infinite mana, what are we going to do with it? Walking Ballista! Walking Ballista is the answer to everything, and it's a great Karn wish board target, and also a main deckable card in anything. Theoretically, any deck can play Walking Ballista. Why haven't I tried this in Merfolk? Would be great versus Ragavan. What else would it be good against? You could block. I could block something, ping off a Ragavan. Be fantastic. We've got Backtard. Torment of Hailfire. Ooh, that's a good one. The torment has begun. Black, black, X. Repeat the following process X times. Each opponent loses 3 life until that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. So you've got like a ton of mana very early on. Competitively, it's not that great of a card, but in Commander, it's actually a house. It's not too hard to get a lot of mana up really, really, really quickly. But even then, so if you can get this off for a large enough amount, you can drain your opponent for a lot of life or make them discard or sack a bunch of permanents. It's not bad. It's not the best of the best. It's not bad. You know, we're gonna give this. I'm gonna give it an A tier card. It can be made good. It has seen, I think, a little bit of competitive play. Smidge in there. Gunblade. Gunblade Knight. Thanks so much for the super chat. Urtai's meddling. What's going on? Who's meddling? Urtai's meddling. Okay, blue X. When target spell is successfully cast. Wow, that's old templating there. If it's it will always be successfully cast. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, unless you're just preventing me from playing blue cards, period. Put X delay counters on it. X cannot be 0. Okay, forget it. I'm just going to read the Oracle text here. Okay, X can't be 0. They put that up front. Target spells controller. Target spells controller exiles it with X delay count. So it's like an old-fashioned delay. Or suspend. At the beginning of each of that player's upkeeps, if the card is exiled, remove a delay counter from it. If the card has no delay counters on it, the player puts it onto the stack. Oh, so it's like old-fashioned delay. Is there any... Oh, no, sorry. It's a delay, right? Counter target spell. If it's countered this way, exile it with 3 time counters on it. I think it's the exact same thing. Interesting. I didn't know this card existed. I'm today's years old to know that they made delay back in Tempest, which was like years ago. Years and years ago. C. It's not the worst. It's definitely not good though. Didn't we just do Finale of Devastation? We did. Oh no, this is Finale. This is Torment of Hellfire. All right. Finale of Devastation. Oh, this is that uncounterable. Okay, I seem to be mixing up all my Devastation cards. I thought this was the red Nicol Bolas looking card. Finale of Devastation for double green and an X. It's a sorcery. Search your library and or graveyard for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less and put it onto the battlefield. Tutoring things into play. That's broken. Always broken. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get +X/+X and gain haste until end of turn. Hell, there's so many tutors out there that will tutor things on top of your deck, and those cards are banned. And this card tutors directly into play. It's like a pretty classic combo card in any green deck with a lot of mana. I'm talking to you, Elves players. Actually, truth be told, I don't know if Elves players play this card. S tier. Super S. Very, very good card. Very good card. Very nice stuff. Hedgeman with the villainous wealth. Used to be my sideboard tech against the dragon decks back in Tarkir. Oh, in standard. I used a Devo ramp deck playing this for X equals 5. Usually a win. How did I counter this? Someone played this against me in Commander, and then it was useless. So blue, green, black, X. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of his or her library. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them and without paying their mana costs. I don't remember how I countered this thing. It was a huge blowout. Somehow my opponent played Villainous Wealth, and I think I got all the cards, or something weird happened. I don't remember. It's a cool card. It'll do things. It'll do let me read that one again. You may cast all of that stuff. Okay, but it's a bit, you need a lot of mana for that. Okay, we'll put, it's close between putting it in A and B, but this is 3 colors, which makes it a lot harder to play over, say, Torment of Hailfire. So I'm going to give it a nice B. I'm going to give it a B. Oh, good God. Electro Dominance. This used to be like a tier 1 card, because you could put Living End in play. Electro Dominance deals X damage to any target. You may cast a card with converted mana cost X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. I believe the cards that they chose were Ancestral Visions and Living End. But it's still pretty jank outside of that, so... we give it a B. It saw some competitive play. Okay, looking at this thing, I'm demoting this guy. Demoting this. I didn't know how bad or good these cards would get. Hell, I can demote this stupid counterspell too. Abzo with the Meat Hook Massacre. Oops. I'm gonna evaluate this. This is a very good card, but this is not S tier worthy. It's like, it's a standard all-star, and outside of that is not that good. So black X, when Meat Hook Massacre enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. And hey, who doesn't like a sweeper with a little bit of extra value attached to it, because it is a legendary enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. Does anyone see the sloth in the image? I think this guy's a sloth. This looks like a sloth. Here's his arms. Here's the head. Did you hang in there? There's the legs. You just have to, like, look at it with a little bit of a blurry vision, and you see the sloth. And then you can't unsee it. In fact, we're just going to take a picture of the sloth. A tier! Good card. Not an all-star, but good card. It's also very strong and historic. Alright, so it's worthy of A tier. Mass Manipulation. Blue. XX. Gain control of X target creatures and or planeswalkers. That cost is so damn expensive, though. Good golly. Good golly, Miss Molly. Gain control of X target creatures and or but you get, okay, so after I've paid 4 and I pay 2 more, I get control of 1 thing. And then if I pay 4 more, I get control of 2 things. If I pay 6 more, I get control of 3 things. This is definitely a janky-ish card. This is a very jank card. C tier. Absolute C tier. We got Josh with the super chat. Cheating the system. Zoanthrope. I have no idea what this is. The F? Okay, red, blue, X. It's a 0/0 Tyrannid with Ravenous. This creature enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If X is 5 or more, draw a card when it enters. 7 mana, draw a card? Get out of here. Okay, Flying Ward 2. Warp Blast. When Zoanthrope enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to any target. I feel like this is a AI-generated card. It's okay. So this is going in, it's like, it's okay, but it's a bit too jank. That's what the C tier is for. I like the card. PM, March of Otherworldly Light. You waited so long for this show just to mention March of Otherworldly Light. Did I do this correctly? Apparently not. Okay, White X. Instant as additional cost to cast this spell. You may exile any number of white cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Funny enough, that part of that ability isn't used enough. I almost completely forget that it even exists, because just White X at instant speed is pretty broken. An exile target artifact, creature, enchantment with mana value X or less. It's a Swiss Army knife, deals with basically anything. And is a multi-format all-star S tier. S tierish card. MTG Gaming Bob, but the Agadeem's Awakening. Agadeem's Awakening. Alright, we'll evaluate Agadeem's Awakening, but if you want to know where you'd find all these beautiful, beautiful X-Mana cards, you know where to find them. FusionGamingOnline.com. You can also pre-order Phyrexia All Will Be One singles. Forget pre-order. You can get them to... Or, I don't know. Do you have to pre-order them? What is the date today? By the time you're watching this, you could probably just buy them. Get your Seachrome Coasts and Dark Slick Shores and whatnot. What is the deal of the week this week? Is it lagged? Is it something new? Oh! Save 15% off non-tournament legal sets. Non-tournament, but legal. That's right, you know. All those funny gold-bordered things. Anyway, 15% off. You want to own a Mox Sapphire printed by Wizards of the Coast? You can get it, but don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for an additional 5% off all your purchases, especially when buying those X-Mana spells. You can also support the channel by renting with Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. MTG Philly coming up. Be prepared with Pioneer, but if you don't got your deck settled in, you can test them all out when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_EK2. And now back to Agadeem's Awakening. I have been awakened. You know, this is almost like cheating, because no one uses this as like the X-Mana spell, funny enough. Because it's what is even, I don't even know what it does. Okay, XXX, sorry, no, it's black with X. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different converted mana cost, X or less. That's not bad, but the thing that makes this valuable is that it's a land that's considered a spell. So it can be played in Oops All Spells deck and so on. I've almost never, like, it's used in Charbelcher, Oops All Spells, maybe in Historic. I don't know what a Historic Death Shadow deck looks like, but I'm certain that they could use this there as well. Anyway, the X-Mana spell that no one uses the X-Mana spell for, A tier. Nicely played card. Josh! Thanks so much, Josh. Zoanthrope. Did we do that one already? I think we did Zoanthrope. Sorry. Flonino! Engineered Explosives, oh yeah. A must-have sideboard card, and for some people it's a main deck card. When it loads. Alright, Engineered Explosives. X, Sunburst, enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. So, you try to play with at least two colors in your deck. Pay 2, sack it, Engineered Explosives. Destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Engineered Explosives. Great. Put it on 1, blow up all the 1 mana stuff. Put it on 2, blow up all the 2 mana stuff. Put it on 0, blow up all the tokens. I'm surprised, like, no one... I don't know, do people play this stuff in Commander? I don't know. Anyway, it's hardcore S-tier card. Very hardcore. Okay, and now Josh did have a second super chat. Turvagon. What the hell? Is this another 40k card? It is. It's like some weirdly named card that I've never heard of. Green 1X for 0/0 with Ravenous. Again, the creature enters the battlefield with X counters on it. If X is 5 or more, draw a card. Again, 7 mana to draw a card doesn't get me excited in the morning, you know? It doesn't wake me up. I'm not jumping out of bed for that. It's got Trample. Okay, well, that's a green thing. Spawn Termagants. When Turvagon deals damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green Tyrannid creature tokens. That's not terrible. It's not delay worthy. C tier it is. In the C tier you go. Next we got David here. The Ultimate Nightmare. The Ultimate Nightmare. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. What is this? The ultimate nightmare of Wizards of the Coast customer service. Sorcery. Anyway, this card's very illegal. The ultimate nightmare of Wizards of the Coast customer service deals X damage to each of Y target creatures and Z target players or planeswalkers. You are not real. Da 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 da. To the D tier. Da 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 da. Okay, Remy, thanks so much for the super chat. Secure the wastes. Secure the waste. It's a sneaky card for a white axe. It's because it's instant speed. It's an instant speed token generator. Put X/1/1 white warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield. Sometimes in a pinch. It's really good at stabilizing go wide strategies with one toughness creatures. And it's also a decent win condition. So, like, it's good on defense early on in the game, and it's good on offense in the late portion of the game for the control decks. I'll put it in B tier. This tier list actually makes a lot less sense than I wanted it to. I mean, I don't think March of Otherworldly Light is in the same... Or I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe this is all fine in S tier. I feel my A tier and B tier is a bit weird, though. It's a bit weird. Multiple choice or finale of promise. Thanks so much for the super chat, Baron. Multiple. Let's go with multiple choice. Never heard of that one. Blue X. If X is 1, scry 1, then draw a card. If X is 2, you may choose a player. They return a creature they control to its owner's hand. If X is 3, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, and if X is 4 or more, do all of the above. It's like a cryptic command. I never heard of this. Oh, it's sorcery. Oh, that sucks. You know what's funny? If they just made this instant, it'd be broken. This would be a staple in like every format, but they made it sorcery, so it's useless. But I like it, so I'll put in the C tier. Actually, do you know what? No, we gotta fill up the D tier. No, I like it. Just wish it was instant, that's all. Josh is back, but Josh loves this show. Last chat and not a 40k card. Hey, you can dominate. You can take up the whole show if you want. Chord of Calling. A classic. This used to be like the go-to card to tutor your creatures into play before Finale of Devastation. So green, axe, but here's the deal. You can convoke. You can turn your creatures into mana, basically, by tapping them to help cast this spell. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. We got that big, what is that? Oh, for some reason I thought this was an elephant the entire time. This is some weird tusked panther of some sort, if you ask me. What am I doing wrong here? Picture. It's an A tier card. It used to be S tier, but it's just been outclassed by the Finale of Devastation, basically. Nick, Indomitable Creativity. Is this not a multi-format all-star now? Indomitable. I can't remember. Is there a creativity deck in Pioneer? I don't know for sure. It's like the new Splinter Twin, except it's really hard to interact with. Sorcery. Destroy X target artifacts and/or creatures. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals cards on the top of their library until an artifact or creature card is revealed and exiles that card. Those players put the exiled cards onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. The most important was a Dwarven Mine. Dwarven Mine, I think, is like the mountain you can go search out of your deck to blow up. And then also there's what's it called? Treasure tokens. Are they going to show us a treasure token? Treasure taken? What do I got to do to find treasure? Do I just look up treasure? I just want to see a treasure token. Whatever. Okay, you got my gist. Get the gist of it. Because you can blow up artifacts. Treasures are artifacts, and that's easy to make. And you go get yourself what's it called? Well, I don't know when you're watching the show. You get yourself a big bad monster. So Indomitable Creativity. I don't think it's S tier. I think it's just a very good card. But there's the problem. I put it here. It looks wrong with all these other cards. I don't want to put it with Chalice of the Void. Whatever. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Gabo with the Shivan Devastator. Is there some super chats I missed? Nope. The Devastator, red and X. Dragon Hydra, Flying Haste, Shivan Devastator enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. That is so underwhelming. It's just a X mana dragon. C tier. When I judge it, is it as bad as an X mana delay? No? Okay, it gets bumped up a little bit. MJ, thanks so much for the super chat. Really? You didn't like Urtai's meddling? It gets around anything that can't be countered and gives you one or more turns to prepare for it. There's a lot of cards that gets around things that can't be countered. You know, like, well, delay, for example. No, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Well, maybe let's reevaluate Urtai's meddling. Like, am I wrong? Is this like a competitive EDH card or something that I don't know about? Target spell's controller exiles it with X delay counters. Oh, you can just pay 2 mana. It's not like pay the X of the spell. X can't be 0. Alright, we're gonna move it up to B tier. You happy? You happy? That means we gotta move this thing up. No, we're gonna keep it there. Alright, Geyer. Thanks so much for the super chat. Meltdown is the best commander card no one plays. Meltdown? Ooh, that's a good show topic. The best cards nobody plays. Which, of course, it's just gonna be like a bunch of bad cards you guys like. But, you know, that's the fun of the show. Red X, destroy each artifact with total casting cost X or less. So you can blow everything up. So it's a sweeper for artifacts. That is pretty good. I never heard of that card. Destroy each artifact with... So, I mean, I guess the problem with this card is it blows up your artifacts too. And if you're not playing artifacts, then you've got to ask yourself, are you doing something wrong? This is a strong card, though. Okay, we got to give it... I'll put it in the B tier. We can put it right next to Urtai's meddling. Right next to Urtai's meddling. Remy, thanks so much for the super chat. Word of Invention and Meat Hook. We didn't do Word of Invention. Blue, blue, blue. X. Improvise. It's just Convoke, but for artifacts. Search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. Tutoring artifacts into play? That's broken. I hate that. You know what? I hate them finding, what's it called? Ensnaring Bridge. Whenever X equals 3, counter spell it B. Get it. Mr. Deadhead trying really hard to get Stream of Life on the show. Stream of Life. I know where it can live. Stream of Life! Green X, target player gains X life and at sorcery speed. Sorcery speed life gain. D tier. That's the new bar now. Is it better than Stream of Life? Or is it worse? Or is that as bad as Stream of Life? DL Brando with the Hydroid Craze. That's a strong card. It sees a lot of play. Or does it still see play? I remember that was like all the rage in Standard and Historic. Now I don't know if like the formats are power crept way beyond it. Doesn't really see play in Modern. Blue, or I don't know, does it see play in Pioneer? Do I remember this card? Blue-green X. When you cast this spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards rounded down each time. Trample Flying Hydrocrisis enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Maybe this is one of those types of cards, like it needs a home. You know, if it's got no home, then it doesn't see play. But if there's like Oko legal, if Uro's legal, then this thing can be legal. So Hydroid Crisis, you're a good card. This is a good legit card. You gain life and you draw cards equal to X, right? You cast the spell, gain half X life and draw half X card. Whatever. It's better than drawing one card for 5 mana like those 40k cards. A tier. Let's A tier it up. Yeah, that's your home. You too good for your home? Answer me! Answer me. Alright, what do we got? We have a super chat from Azaya. Thanks so much for the super chat. Structural assault is better than meltdown in EDH because they can't sack their artifacts in response. Structural assault. Was that split second? Doesn't have split second. Red at 3. Sorcery. Destroy all artifacts. Then structural assault deals damage to each creature equal to the number of artifacts that were put into graveyards from the battlefield this turn. But it's not X. You need the 5 mana. Also, I don't understand I don't understand the thing that you said because they can't sack their artifacts in response. Of course you can sack all the artifacts in response to this. I got structural assault on the stack. Well, sack my stuff in response. Oh, well played. Then it deals damage to each creature equal to the number of artifacts that were put into the graveyards. Oh, that's what you mean. Like, you can't play around this second part. So, you sacked it, and then no matter how they got to the graveyard, you get to deal damage. Okay, cool. Is that what they were trying to do, though, with the other one? Meltdown. This has nothing to do with hurting creatures. Anyway, this is a neat card. It's okay. We're gonna go right next to Meltdown. Right next to it. MJ is back here. Aghanime's Awakening or Astral Cornucopia. We did Aghanime's Awakening. Sort of. Astral corn. Who likes corn? Likes corn on the cob. Anyone make their own popcorn? Okay, XXX, Astral Cornucopia enters the battlefield with X charge counters on it. Pay tap, choose a color, add 1 mana of that color for each charge counter on Astral Cornucopia. So, like, in the right deck, in a really niche, weird way, this card is good. But outside of that, it's pretty jank. I think all the decks that play this card is jank. That's all jank, jank, and jank. So we're going to put it in B tier. It's a playable card, though. Definitely playable. Phantom with the repeal. That used to be... Actually, I don't know if this was ever an all-star. It was always a good card. You pay a blue, you pay X, you bounce stuff to people's hands, you draw a card. It's great when you're bouncing 0 mana stuff, because then you just pay a blue, bounce it, draw a card. I love it. C tier is getting clogged. Okay, what am I doing? I gotta make these thinner. Okay. Nice and thin. We're running out of room here. Can I put this on top? I can. Okay, Urtai, squeeze over. We all gotta squeeze over. I have a feeling that we have like 30 more minutes to go. I don't have a whole lot of space left. Run out of them space. Memento Mihi, thanks so much for the super chat. Debt to the Debtless. Oh, I know someone who would love this card. Debt to the Debtless. Black, white, X. Each opponent loses 2 times X life. You gain life equal to life lost this way. A little too jank for my liking. But not a terrible, impossibly bad card. We can put in the C tier. Put on top of the Hydra over here. What's Rocco? Is this? Oh, this is an X spell. It's an X creature. That was weird. Okay, so Naya Cutler's an X. When Rocco Cabaretti, Caterer enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. The Cabaretti family. Don't BS the Cabaretti. Okay, if you cast it, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, put it onto the battlefield. That's pretty good. I've never heard of this card though. Is this like a really good commander? A lot of people are mentioning cards in the comments section, but not really giving commentary on the cards already here. I guess we put this in... This seems like an A tier worthy card, to be honest, along with the other tutors. I guess I'll put it here. It looks worthy. It's 3 mana. It's a 3 mana tutor, for crying out loud. 3 mana tutor. MJ's back. Hold on, I'm gonna get back to you, MJ. I'm gonna take one from the crowd here. We're gonna get something from Bread here. Stone Coil Serpent. The classic. It's simple. It's an X mana creature with reach, trample, and protection from multicolor. Stone Coil Serpent enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters. Clean and easy. Saw play in... Actually, I don't think it saw play in Eldrazi decks. I think it saw play in some Hardened Scales decks. I think it also saw play in... what other deck? I'm going to make it A tier. I think it saw play in... I'm missing decks that it saw play in. Definitely Hardened Scales of some sort. MJ. Okay, we back. We back, MJ. Mind Grind. I'm that guy in EDH. Mind Grind. Wait, this sounds like a discard your hand spell. Oh, this one! We did this one! I put it in D. It's funny, this was one of the... What's up with this card? This was like the first card mentioned for the whole show. Each opponent reveals X cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals X land cards, then puts all cards revealed this way into his or her graveyard. You're just gonna, like, help your opponents, in my opinion. Backtard, you have a card you want to suggest. Anyway, thanks for the super chat. Curse of the Swine. Oh. I remember, I had a friend who was actually deathly scared of this card because they didn't like it that blue had removal. It's like, oh my god, you exile it. It's not even destruction. You exile the card. This is like the most broken removal spell of all time. Of course, it was a kitchen tabletop player. Blue X. Who's scared of Curse of the Swine, you know? Let us know in the comments section. Blue X. Exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller creates a 2/2 green boar creature token. Weird color, dude. Oh, you want Thassa's Intervention? Alright, Backtard. Thassa's Intervention. Oh, this card. Blue X. Choose one. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put up to 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Counter target spell unless its controller pays twice X. This card see play anywhere. Do you know what? Honestly, I don't like this. I'm gonna put it with Mind Grind and the rest of... maybe it's fine. Whatever. It's fine. Put it in C tier. Paper Sun, yes. What did Paper Sun say? Curse is great in a Hinata deck. Hinata deck, eh? What the hell is a Hinata deck? Hinata. The Dawn Crowned. Flying trample spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target. Oh god! Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. Spells... How many things can I exile with this? Exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way. Oh, so I get to exile everything. Not bad. Not bad. We got Sean here with Awake in the Woods. Awake in the Woods. Green X sorcery. Create X 1/1 green forest dried land creature tokens. What a weird thing. That's a new card, isn't it? So it's basically get a bunch of 1/1s, but they're also lands. So you can tap them for mana. That's not bad. I sort of like it. We'll put in B. Also, let's squish it. I think it's too big. It goes squish. Liquid Soulfly with Death Cloud. A whole deck was made out of this card. Believe it or not. I don't know if anyone plays this card anymore. Black X. Sorcery. Each player loses X life, discards X cards, sacrifices X creatures, then sacrifices X lands. It's like a really good sweeper card. Yeah, each player loses X. Like, you just clean up the board. You go to the late game, you Death Cloud them, it's over. They dead. That's the best part of this picture that I can grab. All right. But it's still chunky. Like it's a chunker. All right, we go B tier. My B tier and D tier make no sense, but it's okay. Crimson Wolf with Fireball, classic Fireball. Is this any good at all by today's standards? Like it's a nostalgic card. Red X. Oh, hold on, maybe. Oh no, this is Fireball. The spell costs 1 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Why did they get rid of the XX, or was that just confusing? Fireball deals X damage divided evenly, rounded down among any number of targets. Whatever. I actually think this is a D tier card. I think by today's standards, this card sucks. No one will play this card. Nobody cares. Winter's Chill. Isn't this a reserve list card? I one day looked up every blue reserve list card, and this was on. How much is this? It's $1.80. If anyone wants to know, this is $1.80. Yeah, let me confirm that for you guys. See? $1.80. Oh, look at me! I'm moving around. The power of content creation. I'm not gonna read the actual text box because it's too cumbersome. It's an instant. It's a fog. It's blue fog. I think it's like a blue tangle. You cast the spell only during combat before blockers are declared. So after attack, you know, use this card. X can't be greater than the number of snow lands you control. Choose X, so you need snow lands in play. Choose X target attacking creatures. For each of those creatures, its controller may pay 1 or 2. If that player doesn't, destroy that creature at end of combat. If that player pays only 1, prevent all combat damage that be dealt this turn and dealt by that creature this combat. Okay, sorry, it's worse than Tangle. So the point is, if your opponent is tapped out and they go for the big Alpha Strike, you go for the big Winter's Chill and then blow them all up. They're all dead. David J with a super chat says they're cheating. Giga Drowse. You probably are. Isn't this a replicate card? Yeah, you're cheating. Tap target perp. Not even gonna put on the tier list. Damn says, has Earthquake been... It has not, actually. See, this is an X mana spell I can get. I like Earthquake. I think this is underrated card. I played this in Modern and just wiped people with it. It's actually a really good card. Problem is it has no home. You have to play in a deck with like only flyers or something. Maybe I should make a blue-red fairies deck with Earthquake. That's unexplored territory. So, red and X, Earthquake deals X damage to each creature without flying and each player. Insane card. So it's a great way to just finish off your opponents. Well, I didn't put Winter's Chill anywhere. Hold on, we gotta go back to Winter's Chill. Okay, hold on. Earthquake can go to C tier. I like this card, but objectively it just has nowhere to go. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it in C tier, and we go back to Winter's Chill. We didn't rank it! Get that little guy at the bottom here. Okay, Winter's Chill. Also C tier. Josh, thanks so much for the super chat. Magus Lucia Kane, worth mentioning, but not an X card itself. My X deck. Why are you people mentioning cards? Magus Lucia Kane. Not an X card itself. Why do you mention it? Red, blue, green, 1 generic, 1/1. Spirit, there's a lot of words on here. If anyone want to pause the show to read this thing, go for it. Not an X spell. I didn't rank Curse! What is wrong with me? Let's get this lovely lady and her pig. Alright, Curse of the Swine. Okay, you know what? It's like one of the rare pieces of blue removal, so we'll put it in the B tier. Very rare. We're looking at a rare removal spell in blue. Oh, Prismatic Ending. Hold on. Prismatic Ending. For sure. The big squig. We're running out of room here. Prismatic Ending. Used to be... you know what? This is still S tier worthy. It exiles anything. Maybe we should take a little bit more time with this analysis. So 1 white and X with converge. Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast this spell. Not as good as March of Otherworldly Light, as the time has as it has not held the test of time as March of Otherworldly Light has, but it's a very, very good spell. It's funny, this was considered like the best removal spell in the game. Then March of Otherworldly Light was printed out, I don't know, like half a year later, and just pushed it away. The power creep people. People were laughing at me when I said that this card was better than Path to Exile. I thought this was better than Path to Exile. People laughed at me, and it ended up seeing way more play. It's not to say that all my predictions have been good, but a lot of them are. Mega Banani. I like that name, to be honest. Secure the Waste, or March of Multitudes. We saw Secure the Waste, but we didn't do March of Multitudes. That's right, when you super chat, you gotta be careful. Gotta give a second suggestion out there. White, white, green, X, Convoke, and create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. Get them lifelinker token generators. B tier. It's okay. Fricade with the Benevolent Hydra. Benevolent. What the hell is this? So green, green, X for a 1/1. Enters the battlefield with X counters. If one or more counters would be put on another creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. What? If one or more counters would be put on another creature, that many +1. Oh, you just put one extra one on. Okay, so it's like, what's it called? Hardened Scales. And then tap, remove a counter from Benevolent Hydra, put a counter on another target creature you control. So you like buff them up. It's like a creature. It's like Hardened Scales on a creature. This Hydra is eating very well. Anyway, C tier. We C tiering it up. Yeah, I think there's another super chat somewhere. Or I guess I'm wrong. Corey with Quarantine Field. I'm surprised there's not as many X mana S tier cards. The hell is this? White, white, XX. Quarantine Field enters the battlefield with X isolation counters on it. When Quarantine Field enters the battlefield, for each isolation counter on it, exile up to one target non-land permanent opponent controls until Quarantine Field leaves the battlefield. What? Enters the battlefield with X counters. Enters the battlefield for each isolation counter on exile up to one target non-land permanent opponent controls. Oh, I get it. Okay. So it's just like, you can exile a ton of things equal to X. But that X is going to be expensive. Why are they quarantining this thing? Why aren't they quarantining Emrakul on the moon? Wouldn't that be a better picture? Oh, God. Okay, so as usual, C tier is going to bleed into D tier from now on. Basically, the C tier is going to go down. We're going to be moving down here. Turvagon! We did that one. Isn't it? Hold on. Where's Turvagon? Is this it? Sorry, Turvigon. Or did I not rank it? No, this thing. Oh, sorry, I missed it by one. We ranked that one. Thanks so much for the super chat, though. MTG Gaming Bob here. New Frontiers in Commander Raids format. New Frontiers. Green X sorcery. Each player may search his or her library for up to X basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then each player who searched his or her library this way shuffles it. So this is for everyone. So this is like a group hug sort of thing. I'm not familiar with this other format that you're referencing. Commander Raids format. Search their life for X basic land cards, put onto the battlefield tap. Everyone gets a land. You get a land, I get a land, we all get a land. B. Sorry, C. This is that moment of the show where the C wraps around and gets towards D. It's not terrible. But raids is player versus... Oh! Player versus someone else. Like a bunch of players versus somebody. Okay, we give it B. So you're helping each other. Everyone gets more mana than the enemy. Oh, how do... Oh, where is it? Hanger back. How do we not have hanger back in here? Hanger back walker. XX for a 0/0 enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies, though, you get a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying on the battlefield for each +1/+1 counter on Hanger back walker. Pay 1 tap, put a counter on Hanger back walker. Great card. It's usually not the most busted card in the deck that it gets played in, but very good card. Strong A tier card. Very strong. Very strong card. Some pleb was... Wow, this card used to be a bomb. Now it just bombed. Nobody cares about this card anymore. Blue, white, X. You gain X life and draw X cards. It's just Stroke of Genius now with extra... Like, it's just a more complicated Stroke of Genius at this point. Do people still play this in Commander? Anyway, it's a good card. We're gonna give it some respect. We'll put in the B tier. B tier getting complicated. Can I put it here? There we go. Robert! Open into wonder. Blue, X. Sorcery. X target creatures can't be blocked this turn. Until end of turn, those creatures gain whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. You need a lot of creatures to make this useful. Alright. C tier it is. I'm like, is it Channel Fireball? Is it Stream of Life? No. Oh, Limer here with the Hurricane. A classic. Hurricane, green and X. Hurricane deals X damage to each creature with flying and each player. Used to be a sideboard card sometimes, so it saw some play. And that's why it's going in the C tier. Goes with Earthquake. Oh, Green Sun Zenith from Nick. This card's banned. Alright, so we have a green X, sorcery. Search your library for a green creature card with mana value X or less, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Shuffle Green Sun Zenith into its owner's library. And its main reason that this card is so good is it could find Dryad Arbor. If it wasn't for Dryad Arbor, this card would not be nearly as good. It'd just be another X mana spell. But effectively, it's like, it's always a turn 1 spell where X can be 0. You go find your Dryad Arbor and it's effectively ramp. Because Dryad taps for a green, baby. Taps for a green. Very, very good tutor. Some would say it's the best tutor of all tutors. I disagree. But still very good tutor. S tier. Wow, we found some S tiers at the end. Oh, Blazing Shoal. Finding some good ones at the end here. I don't actually think this card is that good. So it's red X. You may remove a red card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game rather than pay the Blazing Shoal's mana cost. Target creature gets +X +0 until end of turn. And the fear is you'll put like a Scarecrow or something, or like Progenitus, for example. I think any deck that you squeeze Progenitus or like that multicolor Scarecrow is a pretty garbage deck. So here's Progenitus. Because it's technically a red spell. And then you can make an infect creature +10 plus whatever. Anyway, I'm not really a big believer in Blazing Shoal. I think this is a jank. Whoops. I think this is a very jank card. I don't even. I guess we'll put it in B tier. I really don't even want to play it in A tier. I don't think it's that good. I saw a Shark Typhoon. Can we make Shark Typhoon since it mostly gets cycled? Nope. Not an X mana spell. You wait for enchantments. Don't worry, we're gonna do best enchantments one day, and it's technically an enchantment. Exsanguinate? What the hell is that? Black X. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. It's a pretty boring card. It's like also like an X mana spell with extra steps. D tier! Because I said so. Calamador says Gaze of Granite is really good. Says you. But what says me? Oh, this card. I totally forgot about this card. So green, black X. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less. It's not bad. Here, we'll take a horizontal picture of this. And we'll put it on top of other cards in the B tier. If it will fit. There we go. Right on top of Urtai. Hopefully nobody's offended. Oh yeah, Nissa. Technically, Nissa is X mana spell, isn't she? The Steward. But the Planeswalker sucks. So it's blue-green X with X. So it comes to play with X counters. +2, scry 2. Look at the top X card. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card or a creature card with convert mana cost less than or equal to the number of loyalty counters on Nissa, you may put up the thing onto the battlefield, but your loyalty probably sucks. And then -6, untap up to 2 target lands you control. They become 5/5 elemental creature tokens with flying and haste until end of turn. One shot shebang. You know what? I actually think this card is so bad. We'll put it in the D tier. I actually think this Planeswalker is terrible. It's good if your opponents are dirtling around and they don't do anything to you. Zarathur with the super chat. Thanks so much. Can't see if we've done it. Aurelia's Fury. We did not. Is that an X mana spell? Aurelia's Fury. Don't get in the way of Aurelia's Fury. Red, white, X. Deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. Tap each creature. Dealt damage this way. Players dealt damage this way can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Sounds useful in some sort of combo deck. Like just deal 1 damage to somebody and it's like, hey, you can't counterspell me today. Deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. This actually has a lot of utility. It's like a silence. It's like silence and removal all in one. That sounds really good. B tier. A little bit on top of the Blazing Shoal. The Shoal and the Fury are one together. And Takao, thanks so much for the super chat. Aberrant. Does this card exist? Oh, I didn't write it down properly. Aberrant. Oh, we did this one. Thanks so much for the super chat, though. What did we rank Aberrant? Something low. Or did I not rank it? Where's this guy? Or is this something different? Trample? No, yeah, this, oh no, maybe we didn't do this one. Okay, it's one of those X, or if you have X or more, whatever, you draw a card when it enters the battlefield. It has Trample. Whenever Aberrant deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Maybe, I guess we didn't do this one. I like this, actually, I like this ability. Deal damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's pretty strong. He doesn't have to come out for a whole lot. We'll put him in the B tier. Does he show up anywhere? There we go. The graphic shows up. Beautiful. Alright, well that's it. There's our tier list of X mana spells. A lot of X mana spells out there. Were there any like S tier level X spells that we missed? Like we almost went through this whole thing without Green Sun Zenith and like Prismatic Command. I almost forgot one of my trademark cards. Explosion! Insert Megaman sounds? I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway, okay. As usual, thanks so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. And if you want to be part of the show, be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you very much for all the super chats and the support, being members of the channel or supporting on Patreon. Also, but most importantly, thank you guys for being here today, because without people like Corey or San Fran or Levy, Dan, Yeti Nokels, Nexus, Sugarcane, Deb, King Ginger, Pedgeman, without Gabbo, without Corey, without Gwyn, Raznab, Abs Odolba, I wouldn't have a show. I'd have nothing. So thank you very much for being here this morning with me. So as usual, you keep brewing up those coffees and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next